So what we want to do now is to make sure that you know the latest and greatest about the architecture supporting all this, right? So all my predecessors have given you a lot of nice blueprint data on how data models are working and so on. And whatever, looking at it like a quiz question. So how much of that needs to be covered by Data Protector? And the answer is, of course, all of the above, like we just seen in the quiz. So that's kind of what we need to juggle, and all the features we need to get on board. So Data Protector actually becomes the tool that can actually reach all those kind of different data sets. Like we've seen that before. Some of that is maybe organized, maybe a lot of that is unstructured. So all of that needs to be covered. Now, when we look at what we just recently done, so first of all, we had the launch of Data Protector 11.02, and I show you in a second where we're going on from here. And we have certain support cadences going on here, right? So STS means like short-term support release, which gives you 1 year of committed support. And the LTS releases give you a 3-year committed support. This particular overview that I'm showing you, it's actually just one overview slide at that very moment, is giving you the delta in between the last version 11.01 and this 11.02 version, right? If you ever need more sophisticated presentation, like for a customer that has never seen Data Protector before, or somebody who has Data Protector knowledge and wants to dive into some of those aspects, then we have certain additional presentations available. Now, like I said, this one is just like kind of a management summary, if you want to call it that way, of what we've done to the 11.02 release, just like a couple of weeks ago. First of all, and security is our topmost priority of all. We make sure that all the internal tools we use, because some of that is actually third-party applications that we also make use of, that they are on the latest and greatest shape, and also make sure that there is no kind of security issue with that. So since we are responsible for all the bits and binaries that we put into the code, we take full responsibility of all the tools that we use. So that's something we do regularly, and that's not usually kind of shown as a feature at this point in time, but we just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're taking that very seriously. The next one is where we increase usability, or the way you use the product overall. And we have seen that mentioned a couple of minutes ago, where role-based access came into place. We have actually started that journey in 11.01, where we kind of provided some early tech demo of where we're going. So people already running 11.01 could already have a view on this. In 11.02, we're actually putting this into live, because now it has proper capabilities to assign your access and kind of access to individual client systems and the individual kind of features you can use on those systems. So RBAC and all its individual items, which is like client access control, and in one of the next versions, we're looking at device access control, for instance. These are all or important items that we need to also become SaaS aware or backup as a service aware, because at the end of the day, that's kind of a crucial item that we need to have incorporated. Think of either large customers who are running multiple entities or subsidiaries, and they need to set them apart from each other and have dedicated people only working on local systems. Or it's more or less like service providers that maybe some of you are in the call, where you're running a central instance of Data Protector and it hosts backups for multiple customers, which it can do easily because it has like a super large internal database, and it can run so many backups at the same time. And that's actually where a lot of competitors struggle to do many things at the same time. So this is kind of an important item that gets us there. So one of those steps. On the infrastructure side, we have put a lot of energy into creating our own software-driven deduplication solution. So we call it DPD, or Data Protector Deduplication. And the deduplication functionality has been added with immutability, which means that the data on the device is protected against kind of whatever accidental deletion or any whatever ransomware or other tools coming in, trying to sneak into backup software and trying to issue whatever a media delete or media expire command and so on. So immutability would prevent that from happening. So that's already built into that software. It's more or less like a one-click operation to set it up. So very easy. And many of you who have been using our VMware integration know that we have a power on and live migration feature that allows you to run or to start and power on a virtual machine from the backup store without any need for a complete restore operation, so that you can actually look into the virtual machine, check on it, whatever you want to do, like you want to extract a serial number from a software installation within that virtual machine, or you just want to see if it boots up properly and gets you a login prompt. So that's kind of the operations that we support here. Live migration is kind of an instant restore capabilities where people make use of that powered on virtual machine, and it gets restored in the backend. So the news here is that DPD now supports the same kind of functionality like we already supported on certain deduplication appliances. So DPD becomes more and more important over the next releases as well. So we're still working on some features like replication. We're going to talk about that in the roadmap in a couple of seconds. But we're actually planning to make this kind of the default backup device using or to be used with Data Protector. Now we have those platforms and integrations area where usually we have dedicated agents to deal with your actual data, your actual backup data. So why are we still using those agents locally? Because everybody's saying like agentless backup is better. Well, let's say it's different. It's certainly not better, because local agents know what's going on locally. They not only know what's going on in the application that is to be protected, they also know what's going on the operating system and its state, right? If you have something like clustered operations going on within an application, a local agent can pick up if there is any kind of failover activity going on. Or let's say if you want to back up through a local fiber channel, and by the way, that's also an item that Data Protector is very good at, then you could still face an issue that your fiber channel network is maybe not reachable for a moment, or whatever, a device is kind of unreachable through a certain path. Then we have failover capabilities that will reroute your data access. And that's why all those platforms integrations are benefiting from that. And we just recently renewed our SAP HANA integration agent. That's one of the items that we spent 2 releases time frame on. Now that we have this new integration, it lets you do very fast backup and restore. Like I said, it could be fiber channel, it could be kind of network. And it allows you to run all that kind of within the Data Protector ecosystem or via the SAP HANA ecosystem. And that has been marked as still very important by our customers to have the freedom of choice here. So you have different ways of backing up and restoring, and kind of making sure that your data gets back on the spot. We're also introducing a new, what we call a unified agent infrastructure. And on top of that unified agent, there can be plugins addressing certain application backup and restore. The one that we are shipping with 11.02 is for MongoDB, and plans are to add more, mainly NoSQL type databases to that ecosystem. We actually plan to make that an SDK that partners or customers could take away and design and develop their own integrations, maybe for a special application which has a certain special need for a customer, or whatever, an application which is only used in a certain part of the planet, but not used elsewhere, and we may not opt for creating a dedicated agent for that. So that gives flexibility to the community, basically, to create their own kind of plugins on top of that new infrastructure that we're introducing. So that's kind of the platforms integrations that we have added features functionality to. This doesn't completely cover all the certifications that we've done alongside that. So there is a huge amount of certifications we do. We mentioned that very early in this call, but it's about 200 to 300 certifications we do each year. And many of them play a very large and important role in the overall ecosystem of what you can do with backups, right? So this is like operating systems, application servers. This is like virtualization systems where you want to make use of the latest and greatest in that area, right? So that's something that comes in parallel to our introductions, because not all of them require code changes. It's just like a recertification. So we bring that into the support matrix, even within or in between individual Data Protector releases. So look out for those support matrices regularly. And of course, we also have a couple of external certifications been done, like very prominent kind of certification is usually SAP HANA, because that's an external certification that SAP does on our behalf, and Data Protector 11 is now listed on those systems for a couple of weeks now. So that's kind of what we have in 11.02. If you need more details on those individual items, let us know. We have much more detailed material. We just don't have the time to go through all of those individual items the deeper than we just did in this call.